Hello and welcome once more to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Marta. Today is the 16th of January and this time I have a little bit of a follow-up regarding Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number. Now, if you were paying attention yesterday, you will have seen that I did a video regarding the fact that Hotline Miami 2 has been refused classification in Australia due to an implied rape scene, which apparently falls outside their guidelines for R18+, which of course is the highest possible classification in Australia. Now, of course, the game could be changed so that it could actually be released in Australia. However, in a blog post, the publisher Devolver said that it's committed to the developer, which is Jonatan's vision, and they won't challenge the rating, despite apparently feeling that the classification board's reports contained inaccuracies. And the publisher, which was again is Devolver, said, quote, "We are aware of the recent report published by the Australian Classification Board in regards to Hotline Miami 2 and have been in communication with them. In response to the report itself, we are concerned and disappointed that a board of professionals tasked with evaluating and judging games fairly and honestly will stretch the facts to such a degree and issue a report that describes specific thrusting actions that are not simply present in the sequence in question and incorrectly portrays what presented to them for review." Now, they also pointed out that Hotline Miami 2 apparently presents players with a choice to, quote, avoid content that alludes to sexual violence. Now, this is not the only comment that they made in regards to Hotline Miami 2 basically being effectively banned in Australia. If they're not going to remove this scene, which obviously it's pretty clear they're not, then it's not going to be released in Australia because that is the reason it was refused classification, despite the fact that it's not actually a rape scene. I'm not going to go through that again, as I did go on a little bit of a ranty ramble in my video yesterday, but basically they're filming a film in the game, and in that film is a rape scene. So it's not actually a rape scene, it's implied, and it's, as with Hotline Miami 1, kind of intended as a statement against, you know, what is acceptable in games, but you know, is acceptable in films but not in games, etc, etc, etc. So obviously that's gone right over the Australian Classification Board's heads. Now, someone actually contacted the designer, Jonatan Söderström, basically saying, like, what do I do if it doesn't come out in Australia? I really want to play your game, you know, how do I give you some of my money? I want to give you my money. Why would you take my money? And basically, they said to him to basically just pirate it, and I'm not even joking. They said, quote, "If it ends up not being released in Australia, just pirate it after release. No need to send us any money, just enjoy the game." That email was then verified by Ars Technica, who spoke to a representative of the publisher Devolver Digital. And that person who spoke to Ars Technica said, quote, "He said similar things in the past, and yes, I can confirm he wants people to enjoy the game." So basically, they're saying, look, if it can't be released in Australia, we're not going to make any money from you guys anyway. So, enjoy the game, have fun, pirate it if you really want to. You don't have to give us any money. That's essentially what they're saying, which, to be honest, is pretty damn awesome of them. They didn't have to say that by any means. I mean, people might have done it anyway, but now basically people have got the developer's blessing. And if you want to throw them some money via some fashion, you know, whatever, then I'm sure they'd appreciate it, but they're saying that's not necessary. They just want you to enjoy the game without any, you know, bits taken out or anything like that. Now, one more thing before I close up this video. On the blog post that actually released the original statement from Devolver regarding the fact that they're not going to be changing the content within the game, they've actually detailed the fact that you can actually, as I said earlier, turn off the sexual violence. You can, basically in an option in the menu, you can do yes or no. Now, they've actually showed a video which basically shows the scene before and after turning off the sexual violence. So if you're kind of unsure about what all this controversy is about, then you can actually check it out for yourself. There is a link to their blog in the description below this video. Obviously, if you decide to watch it, it will contain the scene unedited, just as a warning. But it'd be good for someone, if you're curious, to watch it, to see what all the fuss is about, and to see basically what the Australian Classification Board are getting their knickers in a twist about, which is basically nothing, by the way. If I've not made my opinion on this clear, then I've not been doing my job properly. I personally think it's hilarious that somehow this is not allowed in the game when it's allowed in films, and it's not even an actual rape scene in the game. It's implied, and it's deliberately making a statement saying, apparently this isn't allowed in games. Why not? And good on them for not changing it, and good on them for also basically giving their blessing to Australian gamers to pirate it so they don't miss out on the game if they wish to experience it. So, there you have it, the latest dramas surrounding Hotline Miami 2. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.